She had it all and then lost everything. But this morning, the widow of a Wall Street titan is in a new fight to reclaim her fortune and her freedom. When 48 Hours first reported this story, a Costa Rican court convicted Ann Bender of murdering her husband in their jungle paradise. Her conviction was set aside, but she's not out of trouble. Tomorrow night, Susan Spencer brings us the new developments in her report, Paradise Lost.
John and Ann Bender abandoned Wall Street and used their millions to create an exotic new life in the Costa Rican rainforest. But their dream ended in 2010 when John Bender died from a single gunshot wound to the head. Ann has always said he was suicidal and that it happened as she was trying to get the gun away from him.
I did not kill John.
A Costa Rican court said it was murder. Her sentence, 22 years. But after serving just 9 months, an appeals court agreed there was insufficient evidence for conviction.
I couldn't really believe that I was actually free to leave, but I can't leave the country.
For Ann and her husband, John, Costa Rica had once been paradise.
That's the house. Oh my God. I just saw a bird.
4 floors, 50,000 square feet, no walls or windows at all.
We built the house to our taste, which is crazy.
The house was the centerpiece of a wildlife refuge they set up in 2000.
It was love at first sight for both of us.
But friend Pete DeLisi says the peace and happiness they sought was simply not to be.
John and Ann had problems that money just couldn't fix.
Depression was an immense bond between them.
According to reporter and CBS consultant Ned Zeman, they withdrew, bought guns, hired guards, and lived in near total isolation.
I think both of them had lost touch with reality.
And just after midnight on January 8, 2010, Ann describes waking up to see her husband pointing a gun at his head.
I tried to grab the gun.
Were you able to get it?
No. I was able to get my hands around his, and the gun slipped, and it went off.
Though acquitted at her first trial, there is no double jeopardy in Costa Rica, and prosecutors tried her again. This time, she was convicted.
This is where John Bender died.
48 Hours hired top forensic experts Richard and Selma Eichenbaum to review the evidence.
I'm pretty convinced that it was an accident.
The prosecution is wrong.
But prosecutors still believe Ann Bender guilty of murder. Next month, she will stand trial for the 3rd time.
I learned that there's nothing I can't survive.
And Susan Spencer is now with us. Susan, good morning.
Good morning.
So she's out of prison. Authorities are obviously keeping a close eye on her. What's to prevent her from leaving the country?
They took her passport away. So she doesn't have her passport. She's required to check in once a week with the authorities. And there is this trial looming in August where she could very well be convicted of murder again and go back to prison.
Are those 2 experts we just heard you talking to, are they going to play a role in this trial?
The defense has asked them to come in and be in the courtroom as consultants. They could be called to testify. They could, conceivably, talk about the experiments they did for us that basically convinced them that she is probably telling the truth.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Susan Spencer, thank you. You can watch Susan's full report, Paradise Lost, tomorrow night on 48 Hours. That's at 10 o'clock, 9 Central, here on CBS.